So I was browsing the Fear the Walking Dead subreddit the other week, and everyone was talking about posters. And that got me wondering, what made these so good, and these so not so good? So welcome back, grab a seat, it's time for part 4 of seasons 1 to 3 good, seasons 4 to 5 bad. This poster is probably the best of all of them. The first season of Fear the Walking Dead was focused on zombies suddenly showing up in society, and how normal people would react to that. This poster perfectly encapsulates that. It tells you the setting and the premise of the show in one image. You've got the LA skyline in the background, and these dumb kids playing basketball. Look out, there's a zombie behind you, Jesus! This poster follows the same principle, although I believe it's fan-made. You've got the sexy lady working on her tan, and the zombie in the foreground. Of these two, I think the first one works better because the zombie is in the background rather than the foreground. The focus of this first season was zombies being out of the public eye and slowly taking over, and I think that this poster does a better job of it than this one. There was a third poster for season 1 though. This one is subtle. Too subtle. You've got the Santa Monica Pier with some dragging footprints in the foreground. This one strikes me as a poster for the fans of The Walking Dead. You see this footprint pattern and you immediately know that it's from a zombie, but if you're not a fan of the genre, then it might go over your head. To top everything off, you have a nice, concise tagline. Fear begins here. It's pretty creatively bankrupt, but it does the job. Overall, these were pretty great. Congratulations, you did it, guys! The first half of season 2 only had one poster, but honestly, it's pretty great. Season 2 of the show focused on the survivors trying to find safety, and struggling. The safety is represented by the yacht on the calm water in the foreground, but the danger is always looming with this ominous skull in the background. Couple this with the tagline "No Safe Harbour" and it's all pretty effective. I also really like that the yacht makes up part of the skull with how everything is laid out. Our characters do some pretty fucked shit in this half season, and it's great to be getting some hints of that from the freaking poster. The second half of season 2 had another great poster. A Los Muertos mask being clawed at by walkers with the tagline "Death knows no borders." God damn. This half of the season focused on our group getting to Mexico and realising, surprise, there's still zombies running around. This Los Muertos mask does a subtle job of telling us where this season takes place, and overall, this poster just looks great. Of every poster that this show has, this is probably my favourite, just because it's so unique and not the sort of thing I'd expect to see from a fairly popular show at the time. Season 3 got a whole roster of posters to promote the show's return. Since they are all very similar looking, I'll be focusing on the poster they mainly used for promotion and the Blu-ray cover. By this point in the story, you're realising that our characters may be the baddies, and once again this poster captures that. Nick is drenched in walker blood, and it's all tied together by a more grounded tagline than those from Season 2. Fear what you become. This all works, but I'm gonna be honest, compared to the awesome posters from Season 1 and especially 2, this one strikes me as slowly gravitating to a more generic poster design. Let me explain. First, let's go back to location. Season 1. Looking at this, you can instantly tell where the show is set. Season 2, the first poster is easy, but I'll agree that the second poster is harder to tell, but there are still clear hints there if you know what you're looking at. Now, without context, can you tell me where Season 3 is set? Well, there's some mountains. No, you can't. There's no defining features here. This may seem like a small point, but I'm going to come back to it later. Part of what made this show so interesting was the locations, and having the advertisement for the show skimp out on that just doesn't feel right. We've also gone from cool landscape and situation shots to just a single character on the poster. This is starting to look like some generic video game box art. Remember the point I made about this poster? I also think that this poster suffers from that. As a fan of the show, looking at this does indeed get me excited, but I don't think I'd get the same effect if I wasn't a fan. If you can provide some insight on this, please, I'd love to know. Leave a comment and let me know what you think. Subscribe while you're down there too if you're enjoying the video. The second half of Season 3 came out with another poster, and unfortunately it continued the trend that this poster started. Of all the Erickson posters, this is the most generic. It is simply our cast laid out with the tagline, "Every decision is life or death." This is all reflective of this half season, don't get me wrong, but creatively, there's not a lot of substance here. You know where this poster, hell, all of the posters shine regardless of anything else? Posters, especially movie posters, are predominantly blue and orange. This is for a bunch of reasons. First is that flesh tones are predominantly orange on a colour wheel, and blue is the complementary colour of orange. These colours also sit at opposite temperatures, which is why so many action movies use this colour scheme. It makes the poster look explosive and interesting, and everything pops. That's a really simple breakdown of it. There's more, but I make that point because I want to take a look at how Fear uses colours in its posters. let's look at the first season again. The first poster is predominantly orange and brown. Same thing with the Santa Monica poster. Again, it's mainly orange and brown. However, there is some blue here with the ocean. The what I believe to be fan-made poster also sticks with this scheme. However, there's a lot of red tones here. Then the second season is bright orange and yellow, with the second half being mainly brown with white. Then you have some red and yellow accents. With this poster, the orange has basically been eradicated. Season 3's first poster is a mesh of white and brown and red and orange, and the second half sticks to the established colour scheme by being bright yellow, orange and brown once again. All of these posters are coloured so well, and use tricks of common posters to create something unique when it comes to colour. For the most part, all of these are great. However, they did start to trend more towards generic layouts with Season 3. Regardless, if Gordon Ramsay was a poster critic, he'd look at these and be like, damn, they remembered the fucking lamb sauce. The first poster for Fear Season 4 was this one, promoting the questionable crossover. Fundamentally, it does the job to a T. For real, you guys did a perfect job of getting your point across, but a little creativity would be nice. The Season 8 finale of The Walking Dead was airing, to be directly followed by the Season 4 premiere of Fear the Walking Dead, and with this, Morgan was crossing over. With this poster, you've got Rick on one side and Madison on the other, both of our respective protagonists. There's a nice line in the middle to divide them, and Morgan is chilling in the middle. He's crossing over. Overall, this poster is pretty great when it comes to getting the point across, but with that we further regress into generic design, especially when it comes to colour. Before we go into the next poster, I'd like you all to put on your tinfoil hats for a second, and indulge me. As you can see, on this poster, Rick is blue, and Madison is red. However, Morgan is also blue. Blue equals Walking Dead, and who made The Walking Dead at this point? Gimple. Gimple equals blue, and now look at Morgan again. Even when he's on the red side of the poster, he's still blue. It was all foretold. The signs were there in front of us the whole time. It was all in the blue. We should have known that the crossover would have destroyed the show. The clues were right here all along. Season 4's main poster was this one. They also had a banner version with all the characters, and with this, we are in full generic zone. The design isn't fundamentally bad at this point, but there's nothing special about it. Gone are the striking oranges and browns, all replaced by just blue. I do prefer how the cast is laid out on the banner compared to the last Season 3 poster, but colour-wise, this is just bland. The tagline here is pretty good too. A new world to fear. It's a new show, new showrunners, new characters, new locations. I gotta give the guys props on this one. Functionally, Season 4's marketing had a lot going for it. Then they flushed it all down the toilet. Quite literally. What the fuck? This poster came into my house, shit in my cereal, and slapped me for good measure. This is just awful. It seems like they looked at the latter half of the season and were like, it has a hurricane, trucks and signposts, let's just throw it all together. This poster is what throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks looks like. I can see what they were going for, I'll admit. They wanted our characters to be the eye of the storm, and this half season did focus more on the characters. But the execution here deserves execution. This poster also has the first tagline that I don't like. No calm after the storm? Come on guys, I'd like some creativity please. What the flying fuck is this? It does look better than the last poster, but you can't just take all the elements of your show and slap them around willy-nilly. Why are half the characters jumping? Why are half the characters standing? Why is Morgan fucking giant? Why is the ground in 3 places? Why is the colour scheme fucking blue and orange? God, guys, please. They fixed the character placement for the most part with this next poster. We've gone from a hodgepodge to just having all the characters together. From a thematic point, this poster is way off, but from a design standpoint, it's not actually too bad. We've gone from blue and orange to blue and beige. The character placements make sense with the prominence of the cast, but some of them are just plain dumb. Why is Alicia about to slam 16 feet through an announcer's table? And how is Luciana falling downwards and forwards at the same time? There is a slightly different version of this poster that slightly fixes these weird placements, and it's better, but overall it's just a safe poster. I can hate it for being tone deaf, but at least it's not offending my eyes. Last point. I want to jump back to that point I was making about locations in the posters. The first Season 4 one isn't too bad. You can see the stadium in the background, but there's nothing to do with Texas here. The only clue on the toilet poster is CR91 and a road sign. If I Google that, I do get a Texas result, but it's a bit of a stretch. Both of Season 5 posters have no clues at all, it's purely characters. But I gotta be honest, even I'm not sure where Season 5 of the show actually takes place, so good job poster. Overall, Fear had a lot of good posters in its early days, but slowly and surely they lost their charm and eventually lost their fucking minds. I want to conclude this video with a best to worst ranking because I think it'll be fun and it'll pad out the runtime. The worst poster has to be the 4B one. I cannot fathom how this actually got approved. Then I'd go with a 5A poster. It looks better, but it's still a hodgepodge mess. After that, I'd go with a 5B poster. There's some messy elements here, but at least there's some good structure. Next, I'd actually go with a 3B poster. It's the same design philosophy as the 5B poster, but without the weird design choices and a more striking colour scheme. Then I'd go with a Season 4A poster. This one had great form over function. The best form over function was definitely the Survival Sunday poster. It's very simple, but it does its job to a T. I'm putting the 3A poster next. It works for the fans, but it's a little generic and I'm not sure of the effect it would have on new viewers. Then we have the 2A poster. This one just has a really interesting design. The most interesting design on a poster is definitely the 2B poster. It's just so damn good. Overall though, that first poster still reigns king. It has everything, a simple yet unnerving design, clear location and great colours. I'm talking about this one, but this reasoning could be applied to any of these three. They are all absolutely fantastic. Sorry for the delay on this one, it took a little bit longer to get right than I expected. The Lighthouse is only playing on weekend evenings in my local theatres, and as someone who works on weekend evenings, fuck me, right? If I can catch it, I will definitely make a review. I'm very, very excited to see it when I can. Next review will be Birds of Prey, or whatever the fuck they're calling it now.